Happy Tuesday, the day named after those gross things on people's feet. Yes, all toes are gross, and I know this because the only toes I've ever seen are toes that are in flip-flops, and flip-flop people are the ones who have the grossest of feet. So, happy Toes Day. Ugh. So, not a lot of eBay sales. First things first, these jeans from yesterday, I said, do you want the 14s or should I cancel the order? They were understanding. They said, I understand accidents happen, mistakes happen. Asked me to cancel the order, which I did. So I'm going to relist these as a size 14. And these are listed. Also worth note, he didn't have the word jeans anywhere on the listing, just denim pants. Clearly, he's not a fan of Jay Leno or Canada. Only 8 sales today, 130 bucks. This should be pretty quick. First, for $19.30, I sold 2 of these valves. I'm just going to get rid of this whole box. I've got 1 left. $19.30, these came on the Lowe's pallets. Looks like they were $19.77 retail, clearance down to about $5 each. Sold a pair of the Tom Brady ear warmers. I say Tom Brady ear warmers because you see them right there on the packaging. These sold for $10. So remember how my inventory levels were off on those power cables for the PS2? Well, sold one. So I'll just dig one out of here. This is my video game cords and controllers and stuff. When I get systems without cords or controllers, I can use this to complete them. We got all sorts of stuff in here, and then the bottom drawer is just extra cases. Wouldn't it be nice if those games were in there? They're just empty cases. Anyways, this sold for how much? $12.99. Sold a Dress Barn scarf. Right here. It's the last one. I'll pull it out in a second, show you what it is. It sold for $15. If you remember, I sold one of these, I think yesterday or over the weekend, shipped out yesterday for $20. This one, retail of $35. Now we're gonna take a walk in here. 1G2 is what we're looking for. It's a Stila product called Carina, that's Venezia. There we go, Carina, right there. I don't really have a clever little nickname for that. Carina. Yeah, I got nothing at all. The buyer left a note, and I thought it was a viewer sale. It's not. It's about 30 exclamation points, and then says do not include invoice. It just means it's a drop shipper, meaning they probably listed it on their own website for sale at a markup. So I sold that for $12.99. So they probably listed it on their website for like $18 or something like that and sold it. And they're just buying mine and having me ship it. It's common, especially with things like printer ink. I've never had an issue with those. Next, a size medium pair of pajama pants. That is going to be probably these right here, retail of $40. These came on the Amazon pallets. The way Tim listed this, you can't tell what size it is, which is weird because he was pretty clear about what size it is. Right there. I have on multiple occasions looked at that title and said, what size is this? I don't see it in the title when it's right there. Talk about timing. The second I stopped filming, this fell off. Also, my screen is a little dusty. The other thing is I've had multiple potential buyers message me saying, what size are these? It's right on the title, and somehow me and buyers don't seem to see it. I don't know. It's nothing against what Tim did. Just the way it was written, it's like hidden in there. Anyways, this was from Heather, a viewer. She says, hey, Rabbit, my fiance and I enjoy watching your videos. We've had a lot of downtime recently, and your videos help fill that void. Hope you and your family are well. Take care and be safe. Sincerely, Heather and Bill. Heather and Bill, I appreciate the sale, and I hope you enjoy them. I also noticed this. That means feedback has been left, I think. Let me get the cursor over here. This is difficult with my left hand. You left feedback, so that means the automatic feedback thing is working. Next, for $13, I sold 2 of these filters. They're not going for much. Hopefully, they can go first class. Oh, this is difficult to do with one hand. These are for, I want to say for a lawnmower. They're Briggs & Stratton filters. Let's take a look here. Let's see. Air filter, it doesn't say. Fits engines, probably for a lawnmower. But anyways, 13 bucks for both. They came on the Lowe's truckload. And lastly, for $28.49, this Dress Barn dress. It's a size 2X, and it actually seems a little small for a 2X, but I haven't had any returned. It's sweater material. I've showed this before. 65 bucks retail. It's like a sweater material, but a dress. I think it's neat. Maybe it just continues to show how unfamiliar I am with women's clothes. Maybe that's common. I think it's kind of cool. Listed as Dress Barn, dark navy blue dress with light blue accents is one remaining. And that is today's sales. Oh, we've got one more sale right here. Last one, and this sold for $0.00. You might recognize that name. I'm sure a lot of you know his last name, but I don't know how public he wants it to be, so anyways, he finally got back to me. I sent him an email. He gave me his address, and I'm mailing the LSU socks out to him. It's funny, this all started because the LSU socks, they weren't selling at all, so between some viewer comments and my thoughts that, oh, maybe I'll send them to Lonnie. And then by the time he had gotten back to me, all of them suddenly sold. Luckily, I removed one from my inventory, so that one wouldn't sell. But anyways, that's going out to Lonnie. If you are new to YouTube in the reselling community, you probably don't know who he is. If you have been watching reselling videos on YouTube, you probably already do. He's got two channels, Garage Flips and Shed Flips. I recommend you go check him out. One of my favorite reselling YouTubers, shy of Craigslist Hunter, who's, I think, no question, number one. So that is it for eBay, and it is 8:40 a.m. Oh, I've got the whole day to do things now. I don't know, maybe I'll do a little organizing. So I'm at Costco. Here's my issue with Costco. This shelf, $160. It's a nice looking shelf, but I was just at Menards, this exact same shelf. I don't know if it's the same exact one, but it's the same dimensions and everything, 4 shelves. It basically looks the same. $140. And at Menards, you don't need a membership. There was one at the Home Depot, but I don't remember what the price is. It was probably in that same ballpark, though. The only reason I have a Costco membership is because I needed bags for that warehouse sale, and this is the only place in town where I can buy bags. The alternative was buying them online, and I was basically out. It's a lot of their stuff is either a lower quality of something that you can get elsewhere. I was looking at toolboxes. They had one for, it was like $650, I think, in here. It's just like the Husky one at the Home Depot, which is also $650, but it just feels so much cheaper. There's another one too, and it only had a few drawers on it, and it's cheaper, it's crappier. Food, there's so many ones where it looks like a good deal until you look at how much is in it. And like Gatorade, for example, it's a little bit cheaper than if you buy it at Walmart or Target for 12 or 24 bottles, whatever it is. But the bottles are smaller. They're a couple ounces smaller. So you end up spending more money per ounce at Costco. I have really yet to find anything that's a good deal at Costco. Maybe their gas seems to be cheaper than everyone else, but that's about it. I am not a fan of Costco. I've never been a fan of them. You can get the same stuff or better stuff for the same price or less at other stores, and you don't need a membership. So anyways, that's all I got. I'm looking for shelving for box storage right now, and I think I'm going to use some that I have. They're not great shelves. I'm going to try them because the alternative is like 250 bucks at Menards, or get the 140 ones, but they're not as tall as I'd like. So I don't know. So I started cleaning it up before I showed you the before, but you've seen this many times in videos. This is what we're trying to fix. So here's the start of it. Now here's the thing, these are in the way. So what I did is I shoved, it's just 2x4s up here, if you look at that. And it's for that railing, so I can't get rid of them. So I shoved a couple of scrap 2x4s there just to keep it level and pretty solid. This isn't actually attached to the wall, it's just wedged in there. It might stay. If it does, what I'll do is just throw a couple of L brackets on there to hold it in place. It's not really supporting any weight. It's just to keep this kind of flush against the wall. Well, as flush as we can make it. So now we'll put this one here. They should fit, I think, and I hope. So my first observation, the box sticks quite a ways out, but that was kind of expected. It looks a little tighter because I have those leaning there. But if you look, remember I had pallets here. It's still not going to stick out as far as the pallet. You get an extra, what, 8 inches or so there. So a little bit of a problem. We got an overhang. It's tight over here. In fact, I've got it coming a little bit over that threshold. But here, now granted we don't use this room, so I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that. It's weird because I thought I measured that and it was exactly 8 feet. And these should be exactly 4 feet. Let me remeasure. So I was running some numbers. Remember, we don't use that room for anything other than storage of fixtures. So that's not that big of a deal. Even if that was completely blocked off, as long as we shut off the water and everything. And the first shelf is going to be like this high because we're going to have boxes like this on it. So it's going to put our first shelf around here. And then we're going to have it up here. So I'm only going to have the bottom and then 2 shelves that are within arm's reach. The other ones will need a step ladder to get to. So I really do need 2. I can't get away with just 1. So I think I'm going to learn to live with this. I already measured the largest fixture in there will still be able to come out through here. So I think we're going to go with this. There we go. Now you're starting to smell what I'm stepping in. So I would love it if I could have some sort of divider in between so I can put, a third one on its end. But these are FBA boxes, so I'm going to have a ton of those. And then, these 2 I can stand upright or stand flat in the middle. These are my 2 most common size boxes. I'm surprised I only have 1 ream of this. I usually order about 5 or 6 reams at a time on each of those, so that's not a big deal to stand up. And then we could get 1 more shelf up there with boxes that are easily reachable. And then another shelf on top of that with boxes that are not so easy to reach. Although another option is to put these ones on the top shelf because then I reach here and that covers here all the way up rather than needing a ladder to get there. I kind of like that idea better. And then I can put 2 shelves in here with smaller size boxes. I don't know. It's something to consider. I don't know how much weight these can... Oh, they should be fine. It's got a cross support underneath here. See, these have the actual frame that it's resting on, so that helps. I don't know. We can play around with it and make decisions. Another thing, so they've got top shelves. I realize this board and that board is a completely different size. So I just got lucky that I got 3 of the smaller ones here that rest in it. I was supposed to grab 4 and then 1 extra shelf, but I didn't realize they were different sizes. So I have to find one of the smaller ones to put up there. And then the very top there, they're not secured to the ground or anything, so I don't want to put too much weight, but I could always put rolls of bubble wrap up there. Be a good place to store it. And we are done. How nice does that look? This looks so much more professional than 2 pallets of boxes, and it's so much easier to get to them. Prime example, these things were on the back of the stack, so it was really a pain to pull one of these out. Now I can just grab one, granted they're strapped, but I just grabbed one off. These were kind of in the back too. This just looks so much better now. And then I've got extra space as well. I'm gonna get more tape stacked on here. That's my overflow up there. I might make a pallet of shipping supplies because that big stack there is 14 by 14 by 4 and I never use those. And then I've got 5 cases of the 19 by 24 poly mailers, as well as several other cases, smaller ones over here. That's just way too big for what I do. So I'm gonna get rid of those. So maybe I can build another pallet of shipping supplies. Remember, I spent 25 bucks on 5 pallets of shipping supplies, and I sold a bunch of it for, really reaching in the archives here, if I remember right, like 2,500, 3,500, something like that. Nice markup on 25 bucks, and got a ton for my own use. All of these poly mailers that you see me using on all of my eBay shipping came from that, as well as like 8 cases. No, the tape did not come with it. Never mind. The tape I bought separately. But anyways, you get the idea. This looks a lot better. Another nice little bonus is the walkway. Remember, this one sitting here, we had an extra 8 inches coming off that with the pallet, and that's the one that sticks out the furthest. Although I am still considering putting that up on a higher shelf. I also had, you can see where these toolboxes are. Everything behind this was boxes leaning up against here. So now this crate is only used boxes that we reuse, which I don't like to flatten them, which is why I'm going to keep them in this large crate. But maybe I can find a better place to put this. I also considered, now remember, these shelves have this support bar going across. I thought about, or I tried to have this, but no shelf, just the support bar right around here, and putting a roll of bubble wrap on it, so it'd be kind of like that one. But unfortunately, it's too close to the wall. I would need to back the shelf off a little further off the wall to do it, so I decided against it. Next project I need to tackle is this one. This is all of my tools. I've been using this steel cabinet, which I got on a pallet several years ago, but it's just a nightmare trying to find things in it. The doors never end up shutting. Stuff never gets put back. I'm not blaming other people. I took that out. But nonetheless, and then there's overflow here in toolboxes. It just makes more sense to have a toolbox with nice drawers. It's easier to get to the stuff. So I'm pricing those out. Unfortunately, that's not really something I can buy used, because there's 2 types of toolboxes listed on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. Number 1 is rusted out, covered in stickers, half falling apart. Drawers don't glide very well because it was made in 1985. And number 2 is really nice shape, but it's Snap-on or Matco, and they want $6,000 for. I'm not paying. I'll go and get a Husky toolbox brand new for $1,000, a nice one. I can get a lower end Husky toolbox for like $650, $700. For me, I know a lot of people are gonna jump in. Oh, Husky's made in China. It's all garbage. I'm not a mechanic. I'm not gonna be opening that drawer 20, 30, 40 times a day. I'm not gonna have it weighted down with 60 pounds worth of tools. I'm gonna have the tools that I use in there, and I might open that drawer once every month or so. If I were a mechanic, if that was my job, and I was accessing these toolboxes, many times a day, then maybe it would be worth splurging on the expensive Snap-on or Matco or one of those big high-end brands. For me, don't need it. I'm perfectly happy with the Chinese tools and toolboxes because they're cheap. If we're talking a difference of $1,000 or $1,500 and it's a huge increase in quality, yeah, absolutely. When we're talking $1,000 and like $6,000, $8,000, $10,000, I'm going with the cheap one. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering where these came from, I got 10 of these out of Dress Barn. They really just had like the one shelf on the top, and then they were using those as clothes racks. So they're kind of versatile, but I got a ton of extra parts for them, so I'm able to do this probably with all 10 of them if I wanted to make shelves. But I paid, I want to say like 150, maybe 100, 180, somewhere in that area for all 10 of them. Something like that. I don't remember, to be honest, but this was after they closed when I was working with the property manager. So in theory, what it would cost me to go buy one shelving unit at the Home Depot, it's 2, but it's the same size as one here. And I've got 8 more that I can sell. So I went and did it. This is incredibly heavy. They loaded it with a forklift. I wonder if there's a weight on it. This thing is the weight capacity. It doesn't say the total weight. I would guess probably a couple 100 pounds though. Holy crap, this is heavy. Here's how I got it in here. Right here. Sometimes having a loading dock comes in handy. Now the idea, I told him to load the small one first. So I'm gonna get this set up, and then I'm gonna put it right up against the back here and roll that right onto it. I'll have to unbox it and everything on the truck, but that's the plan. There you go, 295 pounds. So we got the bottom half put together, that entailed laying it on its back, putting the wheels on, lifting it back up, and then attaching this and this. And odd, this rubber piece wasn't already attached. That was already attached. That should have been, because I'm sure a lot of people won't put that on, and safety hazard. Anyways, so that is put together. So now the plan is I'm gonna take this out of the box on the truck, pull it to the edge, and then I'm gonna bring the truck up here, put this right up against the back, and try and slide it right on. We'll see how well that works out. See? Now it'll only, I have to lift it like 3 inches to get it on there. That's much better. Perfect, just like me. That should have been like a 4-person operation. I did it all by myself. All right, so I'll walk you through it. We've got a top half and a bottom half. So this opens up, and this is where I will keep my chargers to charge the power tool. That's not plural, I only have one. And we've got all the different drawers here. This is what really sold me on it. See how you lift that to pull it open. Most of them you just pull it open and it has tension to keep it. Well, the problem is you end up doing one of those, a jerky motion when you're opening it to do that. So this stuff is gonna slide around. I plan on keeping this nice and neatly organized, and I don't want this stuff to slide around. It's also got a little work table. But I like the drawers like that. So then I can just nice and easy slide it out. It came with all the mats to put in the drawers. I think that's basically it. I don't think there's anything else special. There was one, oh, nice little gap there. That's interesting. I think they would have made that a little tighter. There was one, the Home Depot one, there was one drawer that was a separate key, which was kind of enticing because my employees will have access to this as well. That way I can lock one drawer, but honestly, if I need to lock something, I can just put it somewhere else too. And then of course we've got the power strip on the side as well. So here's how I justify this. It was $1,189 bucks, 1189. Menards is currently doing an 11% rebate, so I get 11% back, which is 130. So minus 130, that brings us to 1,059. Then I was going to spend 250 bucks. Actually, the shelving unit that I was looking at Menards, it was 30 inches deep rather than 24 inches deep. That one was like, I think 310 or something like that. Before the rebate. Realistically, I would have gone and spent about $250 at the one at the Home Depot. That's what I was eyeing up the most. I could have got the smaller one for $140, but I wanted the extra height, and it actually would have been 12 inches shorter than this. So I'm kind of, I would have been happier to get the taller one. So if I subtract the $250 that I just saved, that's 809 bucks. That's how I'm justifying it, whether you agree or not. And I did need one. I mean, just the other day I was digging through trying to find something in there, and it was just such a pain. Even when I was putting this thing together, I went and grabbed some sockets, and a bunch of crap fell out. So this is gonna make me a lot more organized. I'm excited to get it all set up. I don't know if I'll do that today though. I completely forgot about credit card reward points. I put it on a credit card. I've got one that's interest-free for a few more months yet. So, I get 2% back. I think it might be 1.5. I completely didn't even consider that, but I'll have 3 months to pay it off. So, that's the plan. I can pay it off right now. Like, I can buy this if I want, out of my own bank account, but it's nice putting it on a credit card when it's interest-free and paying it off a couple months later. Plus the rewards. So I decided to put this here. It is like a perfect fit. Look how it lines right up with the door, and the handle sinks underneath that shelf. It fits so nicely. And it's gonna create more space over there for me, which is what is needed. Only issue, this won't open all the way, but it really doesn't need to open any more than that. That should be fine. And I gotta figure out where the nearest outlet is to plug that in. I think there's one right there where that conduit comes down. Here's a tip that I have for you, and this can apply for pretty much anything large that you buy. Keep the owner's manual taped in like a sheet protector or a plastic sleeve or something right on the back there. That way, if you ever do need to go back and reference it, you can also keep things like extra screws and whatnot in there. You know exactly where it is. Tape to the back. This can apply to your washing machine, your microwave, things like that. Just make sure it's not an area that gets extra hot because that could be a fire hazard. So make sure it's an area where it's safe to do that. One giveaway is look at the back of the appliance. If there's already plastic pockets with info in it, you're probably going to be fine. I also do the same thing with the certificate of authenticity of my autographs. I tape them to the back of the frame. So we're all done for the day. Just want to show you a couple of things. Starting to look nice in here. I'm going to get some of this stuff out. This was in that cabinet. But we've got stuff here. I had my 2 extra batteries sitting there, but then I decided, you know what? Let's just keep them right on there. Hopefully blinking means it's charging. Yep, it's good. So anyways, you know, drawers are filling up nicely. I don't know if this is how I'm going to keep them organized. It's just what I'm doing for now. That one has nothing in it. Pliers, and so I'm trying to keep it somewhat neat. There was one that was pretty full. There you go. Trying to keep it somewhat neat so the stuff is easy to find. Like this is a drawer full of stuff that I'm rarely, if ever, going to use. You know, electrical stuff and woodworking stuff. And that's stuff that I'm getting rid of. You know, I got my Dremel in here, some furniture movers. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. And I'll probably be reorganizing here and there. And then this is empty. This box I like because it'll fit under the seats of the truck. So if I'm going out and doing a store closing or something and I might need tools, I take that with me and it's out of the way. So that is that. Now the next thing is the lighting fixtures. I've been selling these for $500 a pallet in quantities of 6. So $3,000 plus shipping for 6 pallets. I decided, because they weren't really moving, I sold 6 to one person and that's it. I unloaded a pallet and brought it to this warehouse to throw some on Facebook Marketplace. There were 12 items on there. Those 12 items are not all here. This one, I think it's this one. I'm pretty sure it's this one. There's 2 more at the other warehouse that didn't fit in the back of the truck. I already sold one of those, and I sold one similar to that. I didn't list that one because that one I'm going to send to Amazon. But I listed all of these. Already sold 2 for $175. And I'm pricing them cheap because I just want my $500 per pallet. Maybe a little more for the extra hassle. So this is definitely a Facebook Marketplace type thing. You might find an occasional one that you'd want to sell online, but really high-end brand. So if anyone's interested, I've got this, and then I've got Austin and Allen. Decent stuff. I don't know. You know, something you might be able to throw on Facebook Marketplace. It really just depends on what your market's like. But that's what I'm doing now. In a few hours, it took me to sell 2 of them for $175. Now, I do have a bunch of... Oh, and those are available on the JLN Distributing Liquidation Sales Facebook group. So anyways, that is all I've got today. I've got a few more eBay orders. Last I saw 8, but it's 4:46. So I am heading home. My grocery order is going to be delivered soon. Mrs. Rabbit's home, so she can take it. But I love Shipt, S-H-I-P-T. They deliver your groceries for you. It's like $100 a year and no other fees. I'm sure the groceries are marked up a little bit, but very convenient. Delivers them right to the house. Normally you can get it within like 30 minutes to an hour of when you order it. Now it's a little longer of a wait because, you know, Corona. But normally it's a lot better. It's still nice. Don't need to go to the store. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you tomorrow on Wednesday. Technically, it'll be Thursday for you, but it'll be Wednesday for me.